choice seems to be, when you actually look at the reality, choice seems to be not reasonable and not possible.
Oh, you must speak some more about that.
No, this is I'm taking to extreme what you are trying politely not to say. Okay, how can so there are three issues which you're bringing. You're bringing choice, you're bringing suffering,
Yeah.
and you're actually bringing environment or ecology of work. Okay, so let me move. Let's start with suffering. It seems that definitely the Western world internalized completely the premise, the Buddhist premise that starts with the four truths that there is suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it fits so well with the rationality of the Western world in terms of sort of explaining them to themselves that we don't need something exterritorial or outside of ourselves. We just need to find the right attitude towards the reality of suffering, and maybe we will not get rid of it, but we'll find a place that that we can live with it more comfortably.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Understood.
sometimes for some moments we can even escape it to a different realms. Okay. In our mind. So it's still within our mind. But the premise is, was born at the moment of the first destruction of the first temple. It means 600 BC. The idea of this is a world of suffering. Of course, it's a world of suffering because divinity is in exile. So perceiving it that way was a realistic and a reasonable. It's so reasonable, and this is why Buddhism is so appealing, specifically to Reform Jews, because it has in it sort of a need and a way to explain the world within human mind and the ability to expand it. Okay, but it is a premise. The premise is that existence and life are the same, and they are suffering. There is suffering in them. It's definitely, utterly not a premise of being Israel or through what I would say through Judah. Okay, we do not start there. We start that there is exile and redemption, and there is that existence, what we call, is not eternal. It has in it an element of choice. Choice not. I don't think anyone chooses to suffer, but sort of this is the condition of existence, and we need to find sort of a solution within it, or to a resolve. It speaks more of a resolve, but Kabbalistic terms suggest that not only suffering is because of our way of living. There is some sort of pain, or I would say that experience within itself present hardships. Okay, but there is it's not sort of an haphazard accidental way of letting us experience existence or life. It has a very close relation to the way we relate or disconnect from the reason of our existence. It doesn't say that it has that each incident has a direct reason. It's not so simple as let's say action and reaction. Okay, it has to do with a much bigger will that suggests that the tribulation that we go through in our life is a part of reformation. It means it's part of a line, and a line that covers all the human evolution. Okay? So we can experience human evolution through the spirit, through the connection in the spirit, through a huge and hard suffering, or we can experience it in a different way, not through finding a lesser, let's say, a point within the ball that carries less pressure. It's being connected outside the ball altogether. Okay, so the premise of the Kabbalah is not that there is suffering. The premise starts that there is hope and there is redemption, and for it to be able to sort of express itself or come out or reveal itself, there need to be an exile, meaning a distance that from it we will be able to sort of to build the right attitude or the right vessel to be able to experience redemption, or to experience the joy of the presence of the higher. Because before that, we don't have the vessels for it. We don't have the feeling for it. We don't have the perception of it. Okay, so this is why the work is so different. The actual expression of what we are working for is different. So first we need to see that that there is a huge effort and endeavor to recreate connection that were lost. Okay? And because they were lost, sort of a huge part of humanity gave up on them and agreed to live within a bubble without any possibility to get out of it. Maybe to expand it a bit, but not to go out of it. This is why we start to speak about ecology. The moment there is an awareness in oneself that there is another ecology, and you can, and what is being suggested to us, that we can move between the ecologies, then there is true hope. But if we stay within, it's the difference between a prayer and meditation.
So something, how to say?
Because a prayer is puncturing the ecology that you are in. Meditation is trying to sort of better the ecology that you are within.
Yeah.
You don't try to escape it to a different. So this is why when I'm saying we start a lesson, we stand on a threshold of a new ecology. Okay, this is the submission. This is the And it's clear that within the ecologies, we don't have much choice. We can move in terms of preference, but not in terms of true choice. You have to have two fundamentally different entities, different realities that you actually can say, I can choose.
Right. So you have to know, though, something has to know that there is another reality.
Yes, but
That
this
you
is why
could
we
maybe
study.
look- Yeah.
This is why we study. All what we study is actually the signs and the structure and the reality that was perceived by the stages of that different reality. And we're trying to sort of pick up the path that they left for us to be able to move to that ecology that they suggest, they describe its conditions, its terms, its flavors, its consciousness, its structure. This is what we study. Okay. So we move into sort of, every time we get into a lesson, we get into a guide into the different ecology. This is what we study till we absorb it in such a way that it becomes real for us. So I'm saying, I know that it's a subversive declaration, but everyone who thinks that, everyone who everyone who trusts reason is not intelligent.
You
So
mentioned
it
that.
doesn't. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
I know that. So what I'm not speaking against reason.
Yeah.
It is the nature of human to reason.
Yeah.
Okay. This is why we were built in such a way. But to trust only our reason and our rationality is not intelligent, meaning it does not actually allow us to go above or to grow above, to grow to, let's say, a godly mind, or the mind of God, or the mind of the Creator. It's sort of, I'm saying we can sort of blow it a bit, yeah, and feel more comfortable within it.
Yeah.
And it's true as well that every new perception or connection that we get, we rationalize it. So it becomes what we call that. It becomes to know, okay, or it becomes something that is a data for us, that we can reason it, and therefore we need to, next step will be to rise above it. So if we stay with it, we disconnect ourselves from the intelligence of creation, which is the intelligence of the Creator, the purpose. And this is why I'm saying that the premise of Kabbalah is that there is hope, and there is redemption, and there is ways actually to prepare ourselves, not to embetter our reality, but to change the rule of the games altogether. Okay. This is the true meaning of tikkun. Not helping the poor. Helping the poor is it's something that every decent person should do. It has nothing to do with tikkun, meaning of being able to form vessel, feeling, perceptions of the higher, of the purpose, of the plan for human beings. So it starts there. You know? Start with the purpose of creation. This is how Kabbalah starts. Purpose of creation, and then how to get there, which is called reformation or tikkun. So tikkun is the most hopeful perception. It does not include suffering. It's like saying that we wish to grow without pains of growth and experience. We wish to give birth without pains. We're trying very hard. Everything like this. So we don't want to have anything that will sort of touch us too much in terms of suggesting renewal of perception. We would like it to be automatic. We'd like it to be without any pangs of giving birth. But what we don't understand in it is that the pangs of birth is our entry ticket.
Yeah.
Is our being able to participate, because there is true tribulation and true suffering is for everything that is happening to divinity that actually exclude her from being able to fulfill her nature. And this is, well, let's say, to be in sympathy with that. It's more the way, because it has to do with the hope, not with sort of this, like the purpose of creation is that the creator, God, Havaya, wish to bestow goodness to his createe. So the base platform of a true reality is good, not suffering.
Is also just a...
And not sin, by the way, as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not seen.
S-I-N. Yeah, sin.
Oh, not sin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Not sin.
Okay.
So also in our study, it talks about, the divine, the God wanting a place, the divine wanting a place for his name. Am I saying that? I'm not saying it exactly right, and that feels...
A place and a name is the same thing. They are sort of synonyms, because a place for light is sort of is a consciousness that can recognize it, and therefore by its feeling and perception and thoughts gives it name.
So is the purpose of creation, I'm a little confused, may you help me here, that there is a place here, a place for the divine name and the reflection of that, the place for that to be? That's one purpose. Or the purpose of bestowal of goodness, and how do those two work? You understand?
Well, the whole creation is built, in fact, is created and constructed in such a way so it will be able to actually receive the intention and the purpose of the creator to bestow good. So they're not separated entities. This is the expression of his will to bestow is the ability to receive.
Yeah.
The ability to receive it. How to receive it is reformation, is tikkun, because it needs the whole issue of tikkun, which starts with bina, is how to be able to combine the will of the creator with the nature of the createe without separating them as oppositions.
Yeah. And
how the createe need to answer the question, how to receive without detaching oneself or becoming an opposition or an opposite nature to the creator.